Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar today, How to Expand Your Online B2C Business to B2B. Today, we have some really awesome speakers today, both from Alibaba.com and also our special guest, Ecomcy. So first, I'm going to say hi. My name is Jessica. I am a marketing manager here at Alibaba.com. And before we begin, I'd like to remind everybody that this is like a session where you get to learn lots of things and ask questions. And if you have any questions whatsoever, please put them in the Q&A box below. We will collect all the questions and answer all of them at the very end at a Q&A session. But you can ask questions whenever throughout the entire presentation. We'll just address everything at the end. Okay, so usually the way we run things is we like to first get to know you a little bit better. So here I'm going to first do a quick poll. It's only 3 questions. It shouldn't be that hard. So the first one is, I want to learn about you. I want to know what you would like to do on Alibaba.com should you sign up. So first is sell products or source products, both sell and source, or neither. Maybe you're here to just gain some knowledge. So I'm going to give you guys another 10 seconds to answer the question. Thank you so much for participating. Okay. And ending poll. So it looks like the majority of you guys are here to sell products, which is great. We are on the Alibaba.com seller side team, so we like to teach people what it's like to sell on the platform. So here we go. Next question. Tell us about your business. What kind of business are you? How would you consider yourself? Are you a manufacturer, a wholesale distributor, a retailer, or something else? I'm going to give you guys 15 seconds this time. All right. Thank you so much for participating again. Knowing about what kind of business you are kind of helps us figure out how we want to hold this talk. So thank you so much. All righty. So it looks like a lot of you guys are retailers, which is interesting. And if you are a retailer and trying to figure out how to go from B2C to B2B, this is the perfect place for you. So finally, what would you like from us? What are you looking forward to learning about this session? What are the major differences between B2B and B2C? Why B2C companies should consider selling B2B? Why Alibaba.com is the platform best suited for B2B selling, and how to use Alibaba.com to sell B2B. All right, I'm going to give you guys 10 more seconds. I think this is often a very interesting distinction, and as you learn more about the platform, you'll see why Alibaba.com is actually a very specific and very special platform, particularly made to sell B2B. All right, and result. Share results. So it looks like the majority of you guys are curious about how to use Alibaba.com to sell B2B. This is great. I think you're going to find the information you're looking for in the session. All right, thank you so much. So we usually also like to give a very quick introduction. We use this video to explain what Alibaba.com is and a little bit about what you can do on the platform. So please enjoy.
Unleash infinite business opportunities with Alibaba.com, the world's largest online B2B marketplace. With over 40 million active buyers, 300,000 daily inquiries, important business deals are being made around the world all the time using our platform. Best of all, we take 0% commission on your sales. By signing up as an Alibaba.com supplier, you keep the money you earn, every single cent. Now is the perfect time to sign up. Professional onboarding services can get you started faster and with less stress than ever. Take advantage of classic Alibaba.com features, such as attracting buyers from over 200 countries and regions to your online store, where they can reach out with inquiries about your products. There's also no need to worry about language barriers. We translate your store and messages into 15 languages so you can communicate with the world with ease. Proactively net orders by browsing and responding to sourcing requests on the Request for Quotation or RFQ market. Any relationships you gain from reaching out to sourcers on the RFQ market are yours. Finally, attain exclusive data-driven insights and 24/7 customer support from our team right here in the USA. We'll help guide you to success using proprietary insight gained from our over 20 years in online B2B sales. Because of these features, Alibaba.com has become the wholesale B2B platform trusted by U.S. suppliers. Grow with us no matter your business type. Now, it's easier than ever to start selling with our new flexible payment options. Let's make it easy to do business anywhere. Sell on Alibaba.com.
All right. Hope you enjoyed that. And now I'm gonna briefly run through what to expect during this presentation. Once again, as a reminder, if you have any questions throughout, or if you want to ask any question of your own, you can just add them to the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. We will address everything at the very end, but you can ask whenever. So the very first part, we're going to first do a partnership intro, which will be given by Mattia Miglio, the Director of North America Business Development here at Alibaba.com. Then he will introduce our special guest, Vincenzo Toscano, who is the founder of Ecomcy. And then we're going to get to the Alibaba.com Today portion, where you'll learn far more about the platform than that minute video will tell you, given by Matthew Leopold, Partnerships Team Lead at Alibaba.com. And finally, we'll have the Q&A at the end, where we will all answer your questions, no matter what they are, well, with some limitations, whatever questions you have at the very end. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Mattia. Woo! Welcome, Mattia.
Ciao, Jessica. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. I'm thrilled today to introduce this webinar because we will give you some useful insights on how to increase your sales globally and how to become one of our sellers on Alibaba.com. Before starting, we are today global, because Jessica and Matt are in New York right now. I am in Mexico City, and Vincenzo Toscano is today in Italy. So we are really global, like our platform. Before starting the webinar, I would like all of you to check our sell on Alibaba.com in LinkedIn. You will find a video of our president, quote, that announced last month a new strategic partnership in Europe. Alibaba.com has just finalized an important investment in Visible, a B2B platform company that manages hero pages and WLW. If you're not familiar, they are the biggest B2B e-commerce in Europe. Thanks to this partnership, Alibaba.com will enhance the presence in Europe and will allow all the sellers and buyers in our platform to increase possible sales, and also our sellers will meet new buyers from Europe. And I'm part of the business development team here in North America. I'm in charge of Canada, US, and Mexico. So we are looking always for partners that can collaborate with us to increase your presence on Alibaba.com, your revenues, your storefront performance, and your ability to meet with buyers. We truly want to make it easy to do business anywhere in the world. So Ecomcy is a new partner for Alibaba.com in the United States. Vincenzo Toscano is the CEO and founder of this new partner for Alibaba.com, but also is an influencer. If you don't know Vincenzo, I truly recommend you to check his YouTube channel and his LinkedIn page, because he always gives useful insights for any company that wants to start a B2B e-commerce globally. So without further ado, it's my pleasure to introduce you Vincenzo Toscano, and then we will have Matt that will explain on how to onboard on Alibaba.com as a seller. Vincenzo.
Thank you so much for the introduction, Mattia. It's a pleasure to be here today on this webinar. I know we actually just met over a month ago in Mexico, and we actually were discussing about this exciting webinar that we're planning. And the reason for that is because, and I expressed this in person, I'm super excited about this new alliance because I think, the power that Alibaba.com is bringing to the United States when it comes to supporting so many B2C business to expand to B2B is going to be an amazing opportunity. And on today's webinar, I'm looking forward to provide some insights about how you can leverage that to your business. And hopefully we can, open that path to make sure we expand your horizon when it comes to B2B and how Alibaba.com can be part of that journey. So thank you. Yeah. Awesome. So I think we're gonna get started with the presentation. Is that correct? Yeah.
Yes, feel free for you to start
Awesome.
here.
Very nice. Thank you so much, Jessica. So I'm gonna start sharing. Very good. So essentially, the goal of today's webinar, at least from my side, is I want to give you as much value as possible, as I briefly just mentioned, how we can do that jump from B2C from B2B. However, before I do that, I just want to give you a quick introduction about myself, so you know in depth who is the person presenting to you, and then of course we can dive into the details. So myself, a aerospace engineer by trade, I jumped and became an e-commerce entrepreneur basically by finding I wanted to find an opportunity as a side hustle, basically initially to generate a extra income for myself, and eventually through a couple of years of effort that became basically my full-time job and business. I became initially an Amazon seller, and then I started selling on multiple platforms. And from there, basically by having the experience as a e-commerce business owner and going to different events, that's where I founded Ecomcy. And Ecomcy now is a full agency in terms of management for brands on Alibaba.com, Walmart, and Amazon. Now, to date, we have helped over 1,000 brands. And right now, the team is over 30 team members globally spread across multiple locations. And so far, we have a portfolio of over 9 figures when it comes to revenue that we manage across all our brands. Now, I'm going to give you a brief introduction about who is Ecomcy and basically why we are here. Ecomcy was basically created with the idea that we want to provide that full service approach when it comes to supporting brands in marketplaces, right? And the idea for this is because I'm a strong believer, especially myself, from coming from a background that I'm a seller myself. I saw so many different founders and business owners that they were really lacking the tactical and also the execution of support and a strategic approach when it comes to selling on these marketplaces. And that's where Ecomcy basically came into the picture and started supporting all these brands when it comes to operations. Right now, when it comes to our partnerships, we are official partners with Alibaba.com, with Amazon and Walmart. When it comes, of course, from the Amazon and Walmart side of things, we do B2C. And now with this new partnership with Alibaba.com, we're proud to now also support all the brands that we have on our portfolio to open the horizon towards B2B. Now, let me give you a quick glimpse of our agency just before I jump into also what we offer as a service. So as I briefly mentioned, we have over 9 figures in terms of management in revenue, over 8 figures in terms of ad spend across multiple, in this case, platforms. And the reason why I mentioned this to showcase the experience we have in the field and the magnitude of businesses that we basically operate. And we basically have experience all the way from really startups all the way to enterprise businesses when it comes to operating on marketplaces. Today, we have over 40 brands under our portfolio, and we operate across 30 plus countries when it comes to presence, where we operate basically these marketplaces. The team, just to finalize that part, we have over 30 people specific 38, and you can see basically all our locations across multiple regions. And the reason why I strategically did this when I founded the agency is because given the fact that e-commerce is global and it's basically reaching every single location across the globe, I wanted to make sure that I have people on the ground on all these different strategic places, because we all know when it comes to commerce, especially if you start selling internationally, it's all about localization. And you really need to have people on those specific places to really understand the market from the strategic point of view. And that's why we, as you can see, have people across the main regions when it comes to operating on these marketplaces. When it comes to services now, basically now we operate across Amazon, Walmart, and Alibaba.com. And here we offer a series of services that basically give a 360 solution to all the businesses that are looking to succeed when it comes to selling into these marketplaces. So initially we do everything to do with advertisements of things. So we have experts in the team that can help you really drill down into what are the right keywords to position your products and basically convey that potential customer. We do everything when it comes to product SEO. We know that SEO is super important to make sure that you get the right visibility on the right search terms. We also have a very strong team on the graphic design and branding side of things. We know that you can have the traffic, but if that traffic then lands on your product or your offer and it doesn't convert, then it's basically all wasted. And that's why branding and graphic design is super important. And we in-house have a very strong team that can help you not only on the design side of things, but also localizing, going back to why we have that team spread across the globe. And then one thing that I want to mention that I think is going to be super important for you on this webinar is the international expansion side of things. That's why Alibaba.com for Ecomcy is super important as a partner, because I think Alibaba.com, due to the presence that has globally and opening doors B2B, is going to be the perfect partner, especially for all our B2C brands that lately they've been discovering and also exploring with us the need that B2C, of course, is a very profitable business for them, but they have seen that B2B is also becoming more and more important on the current situation, and that's why Alibaba.com is going to be the perfect partner for them, and that's why we wanted to make sure we can help you with that side of the journey as well. Now let's jump into basically how to expand your business online from B2C. From B2C to B2B, right? Because I think that's the reason why most people is on today's call. So the first thing that we need to understand, right, is what are some of the differences. It's super important because when you do this transition, especially if you're not used to the B2B dynamics, it can be complex to initially have a smooth, basically, adaptation to the new methodology. The first thing we need to understand is the target audience is completely different, right? When we do B2B, it's more about targeting businesses, organizations, and entities. And when we do B2C, it's more about focusing on specific individuals, and it's more usually a smaller transaction in the sense that you're not working with corporations. That's the very first important point here, because if you don't take this thing into consideration, it can definitely impact the relationship and the conversion you can have in those conversations. Then the sales cycle. The sales cycle when it comes to a B2B is longer, because we're talking that everything in terms of the approval process and all the things that have to happen for the execution is different than B2C, that sometimes can be an impulse buy. Then you have the relationship build up. The relationship is also super important, because B2C, sometimes it can be a one point of contact and that's it. But B2B is more about building a partnership long term, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years down the line. And you need to be mindful on that during your sales process. Then the other thing that's super important when it comes to this is the value of orders that you can get in terms of B2B compared to B2C. Because, for example, we can make the assumption that when you come from B2C, we're used to maybe orders of, $20, $30, it depends on a specific category. But when you make then the change to B2B, we are talking more of bigger bulk orders, because something you need to consider, and that's where the opportunity lies when it comes to B2B, is that you go from having that one-to-one peer-to-peer type of communication style to now opening your doors to a huge network, in this case in the United States with Alibaba.com, of retailer, small businesses and enterprise basically that will want to buy thousands of units sometimes at a time, and you need to be ready for that. And if you are, you can definitely take advantage of that huge extra revenue that B2B can bring to your business. Now, when it comes to the B2B side of things, we need to be mindful. And this ties back to my initial point, which is the relationship you build with your clients. That is all about also adapting with that omni-channel approach, right? We come from especially if you come from a marketplace that is a B2C, like going just to take as an example, Amazon and Walmart, you have only one point of contact. When it comes to, for example, start doing operations in B2B, you need to be mindful that it's all more about having that loyalty built across that lead that reaches out to you, not only, for example, through a direct message, but also by having a phone call, visiting them at specific or their office, or having maybe a dinner with the director of operations in that specific niche that you want to have interaction in terms of a transaction from B2B perspective. So you need to be mindful of that. It's not only about some person reaching out to you and then basically just asking for a specific price, like could be on B2C and making a transaction. It's more about building how we create a partnership that's going to be long term, and how I can adapt my business to you. And then, of course, also from the perspective of communication, to ensure that loyalty in B2B is super important to build that long term, basically customer satisfaction, to ensure they keep reordering from you, basically order after order. And I'm sure all of you, if you come from B2C, you have experienced this firsthand with your manufacturer, right? If you have that initial transaction with them and they don't approach an omni-channel basically strategy with you, but maybe they don't go the extra leg and basically start, having a very efficient approach when it comes to, how to interact with you outside of only that initial transaction. Do they actually call you? Do they make sure they adapt their whole lineup of processes to your specific needs? All that kind of things that make you sometimes question, should I change my manufacturer? Should I change the supplier I'm using? Those are the things that you need to make sure you combine in your communications once you jump from B2C to B2B. Then let's talk about the transition, right? On the transition side of things, we need to understand that from the perspective of basically doing the jump, you need to have a blueprint, and a lot of things are important here, right? One of the first thing is that you need to adjust your offering, because as an example, let's say you're only selling on B2C a water bottle, right, of specific color. You might need to be mindful that now if you jump to the B2B side of things, you now need to give more customization and options to the potential businesses that want to buy from you in bulk, right? Because if you only have one color now compared to other competitors in the B2B division, you might lose the lead. Or if you don't offer customization, you don't offer packaging, you don't offer things that on the B2B side of things can definitely be key or in terms of making a deal with you. One advice I can give you here is try to think the same way when it comes to as a consumer from the when you did the interaction the first time with a supplier. All of you guys, if you come from the B2C, I'm sure you had a lot of questions and demands basically to your manufacturer when it comes to that B2B transaction. So try to now reverse engineer that and try to offer that to your customers, right? The pricing is the same. You need to customize your pricing to make sure it's tailored toward the need of a small business, to make sure that the bulk kind of behavior in terms of transaction makes sense. And the final thing you need to be very careful with this is the supply chain. If you're not used, for example, let's say you only do 200, 300 orders per month, right? Let's say in volume. And then you jump on the B2B side of things, and then you start getting big orders for all these big or medium businesses that use Alibaba.com to find you as a supplier. Then let's say now you jump from having orders of only 300 to thousands. You need to be mindful of that. And it's very important you build a system around that, and not only about the manufacturing side of things, but the customer service and how you customize that's toward the client, because now you go from doing only 300 without any customization because it's B2C and doesn't need any extra basically a adaptation to the customer need because they just buy what they see on the platform, to jump into the B2B when you need to adapt basically everything to what the customer wants for the specific business, which is what all B2B is about. Now, let's talk about also what are some of the advantages of entering B2B, right? Some of the initial things that you need to understand is that you expand your horizon when it comes to reach, right? When you basically enter the B2B operation in terms of opening that side of the business, you can start getting into larger markets, right? Because you start involving into medium to large businesses, small shops around the United States, for example, that might want to buy now in bigger volumes. And that by itself is a huge advantage because that can skyrocket your revenue just by that action alone. On top of that, you start building long-term client relationships. That's super important because in B2C, unfortunately, you can't really build that. Where in B2B, if you build that relationship through the omni-channel strategy I just explained, and you start building that loyalty around your brand as a manufacturer now, then you can secure revenues for years to come, which is something, unfortunately, you cannot build on the B2C side of things. And then the other thing that I think is super important is that allows you to basically build a global brand, right? This allows you to not only position yourself in the B2C side of things as a local brand, but now you start positioning yourself as a brand that go beyond that, and now you can start expanding your wings in terms of the scale of operations you can offer in that specific niche you're operating. Now, I want to touch on how you can leverage Alibaba.com for B2B expansion. And I think this is super important because it's going to showcase the value that Alibaba.com brings you as a partner to your business. I think one of the first things we need to be mindful here is the reach that Alibaba.com is going to offer you is basically the biggest you can find right now when it comes to B2B. Combined with over 25 years of experience and leadership in the market, every single business in the United States, when they think about B2B, Alibaba.com is the first thought that comes to their mind. Like, I need to find a manufacturer, I need to find a supplier. Alibaba.com is their choice, right? And that's why you must be there, because basically you need to make sure that your business, if you want to open your B2B division, you're on the platform that basically is going to allow you the bigger exposure. And on top of that, all the tools and all the insights that Alibaba can offer you is like, it has no comparison to anything else in the market. I'm sure my colleague Matt is going to do an amazing job presenting all the insights of that. But yes, Alibaba.com is definitely the place to be when it comes to expanding your B2B operation, just by the reach by itself that is going to give you once your brand and your business is on the platform. Finally, I want to conclude about what is the unique value proposition with GoStyle by how you can leverage Alibaba.com. The other thing that is super important here, and you're gonna basically take advantage of this when it comes to joining Alibaba.com, is all the extra perks and protection they can give you, right? We're talking things like you can take advantage of things such as the trade assurance program. You can become a supplier that is verified on the platform. You can take advantage of all these tools that not only protect the customer on their side that is coming to you, but also protects you as a business, right? Because at the end of the day, it should be a two-way communication, and Alibaba.com with all those things can provide you a very secure journey into your B2B journey. And finally, I think this is one of the most important things is the reach that comes when it comes to categories. I think the amazing job Alibaba.com has been doing to adapt the reach on the category side to make sure that it's basically adapt to as many niches as possible. It's gonna make sure that for all of you on the call right now, that I'm sure is very diverse group, I'm sure you're gonna find your space when it comes to basically finding the right audience, so you can start succeeding into the B2B set. Thanks. So I hope all those insights were very helpful, and of course provide you a little bit of flavor and in terms of what is the success you can achieve when it comes to B2B. How Alibaba.com is definitely the right partner when it comes to that. Yeah. So thank you.
Hello. Thank you so much, Vincenzo, for your wonderful presentation. And
Thank you.
yeah, like remember, if you have any questions for Vincenzo, you can put them in the Q&A box and we'll answer everything at the very end. And now I'm going to transition over to Matthew Leopold, who is our partnerships team lead. Let's welcome Matthew. Woo!
Yeah.
Yay. Hey.
Thank you. Let me just get set up here.
All right, take it away, Matt.
Thank you, Jessica and Mattia, and a big thank you to Vincenzo for that overview. We are very excited to be partnering with Ecomcy on this endeavor, both for their expertise in the omnichannel e-commerce space, as well as their dedication to their customer success on all these different channels. Jumping in here, my name is Matt Leopold. I head Alibaba.com's partnerships team, and I'm based out of our New York office. And during my time here at Alibaba.com over the past 3.5 years, I've had the privilege to get to know a lot of US international sellers. And today, I'd like to share a few features and insights that highlight the opportunities that US businesses can find on Alibaba.com. I'm sure I don't have to educate this audience on the differences between B2C and B2B, but just wanted to run through quickly here what they mean in the context of Alibaba.com and e-commerce in general. When we speak about B2C e-commerce, we're typically talking about platforms designed to sell to individual consumers domestically. Think Amazon, Walmart, Etsy, Shopify storefronts, AliExpress, etc. That being said, Alibaba.com is a B2B e-commerce platform, the goal of which is to drive order inquiries from wholesale buyers from all over the world who are looking to make recurring purchases in bulk. These buyers typically take the shape of distributors, retailers, import agencies, brands, or even other manufacturers. And while many of you may be familiar with the size and opportunity of B2C e-commerce, most US businesses are not aware that B2B e-commerce is estimated to be 6 times larger in value. And this is no small number, as it indicates the enormous potential that B2B e-commerce represents, especially for US businesses. Which brings us to our platform, Alibaba.com, which stands at the forefront as the leading B2B e-commerce platform designed for global trade. In this ever-evolving landscape, Alibaba.com empowers US businesses of all sizes, from indie brands to global corporations, with digital tools, global reach, and a secure environment for conducting business on a global scale. Our aim is to enable your businesses to not just participate in global trade, but to lead and to win in it. But you may be wondering, why is Alibaba.com considered the leading B2B marketplace? The answer really lies in our numbers and the truly global scale of our services and operations. We connect over 40 million monthly active buyers from over 200 countries and regions across the globe. We are proud to serve more than 200,000 companies across 75 countries who trust us to help them sell their products, which totals over 200 million items on the platform. These offerings encompass a vast spectrum of 40 industries and over 5,900 product categories. And to ensure our platform reaches a global audience, it is available in 18 languages with real-time translation features. It is this unique mix of diversity, scale, and inclusivity that makes Alibaba.com the leading platform in global B2B trading that it is. Buyers come to our platform for 3 main reasons: to create, to trade, and to operate their businesses. Over the past few years, we've seen not only our active buyer base increase, but also order size, as well as the number of inquiries sent to the sellers, now totaling over 300,000 a day. We've recently seen demand across all seller categories increase significantly since the onset of the pandemic, both in terms of active buyers and on-platform engagement. Upwards of nearly 200% during the pandemic alone, and this continues to grow post-pandemic, where the number of US buyers in particular has increased by 116% in the last 3 years. There are a number of high-demand verticals for US sellers on our platform, including agriculture, food and beverage, beauty and personal care, apparel, industrial machinery, and vehicles and aftermarket accessories, to name just a few. In terms of buyer distribution on our platform, of the over 40 million monthly active buyers that we have on the platform, the top 5 largest regions are the US, which encompasses around 35% of our buyer base, followed by India, Canada, Brazil, and Australia. Shifting over to the seller side, among our diverse seller base of over 200,000 suppliers, over the past several years, we have seen a huge increase in global sellers. where our platform currently sits at around 70% sellers from Asia and 30% and growing from the West. Over that time, we have seen many regions that emerge at the forefront for very different reasons. China is known for their cost-effective manufacturing, rich product base, and many connections made throughout different industry verticals over the years. For Italian companies, it's high quality that drives buyer attention, especially in the luxury and food and beverage sectors. For our local US sellers, the shorter lead time, strict regulatory processes, and ease of doing business makes them a preferential choice for many local and global buyers. In terms of the current category distribution of North American suppliers on the platform, of note, health and wellness and food and beverage are particularly dominant due to the strict regulatory processes these categories have to go through to get to market in the US. But what do you really get when you sign up for a seller membership on Alibaba.com? Well, our platform offers a suite of tools that help sellers connect with buyers. And while I could probably go on all day on what each of these features entails, I want to highlight just a few of them here for you in the next few slides. First off, every seller gets their own Alibaba.com storefront when they pay for a membership. It is this storefront that is your access to global buyers from all over the world. No need to register or purchase access to additional countries. A key financial benefit of our platform is that we take 0% commission on any sales or order inquiries generated on the platform. We also give you that buyer info. So anyone that reaches out with an inquiry or order, we give you that access to their info. You can take that negotiation off the platform. We don't really require any communication to be done on the platform. We're really there to just make the buyer and seller connection and obviously have the support services around that to help facilitate anything further. But it is your info that you can use however you want to market to them. In terms of some of the tools that we offer to sellers to help drive engagement with buyers, to attract buyer attention in a passive manner, sellers can use our on-platform pay-per-click keyword advertising tools. If a seller wants to be more proactive, they can visit our RFQ marketplace where there are 20,000 RFQs posted every single day by buyers. Lastly, as I mentioned before, we had real-time translation and communication tools to cover 18 languages to better facilitate these global connections made on our platform. And I just wanted to give you a quick example of one of our global sellers, Alibaba.com storefronts. This seller, Brilla of pasta fame, is one of Mattia's favorites, so I thought I'd showcase it here for you. And so every business that begins selling on Alibaba.com will find their own value with using the platform. Rather than being concerned with acquiring new wholesale buyer leads, Brilla has used their storefront to heavily promote their brand and utilize our data analytics tools to better understand wholesale pricing and demand in different countries where they want to either test launch new products or set up new distribution networks. You can list an unlimited amount of products on Alibaba.com through your storefront. And with the help of our platform's data, you can get a competitive advantage when setting MOQs and pricing to attract new wholesale buyers. We offer a robust data analytics dashboard to aid in your journey as well. You can view storefront engagement, track top performing products, evaluate your ad campaigns, and gain insights and tips as to how to improve both paid and organic traffic coming to your storefront. Our keyword trends tool allows you to better optimize your Alibaba.com storefront messaging and product description. You can learn trending keywords for your product category, high traffic keywords, and also learn more about who your target buyer base and where they are located. The power of Alibaba.com's keyword analytics doesn't really stop at market identification. It extends to validating your product ideas, optimizing your listings, and even strategizing your marketing efforts both on and off the platform. And the best part, all of this data is available at your fingertips, making it easier than ever to navigate the complexities of the global market. You can search specific keywords for quick insights into buyer behavior. You can further refine search results by selecting product categories for deeper insights that will help you further optimize your PPC marketing efforts. And lastly, you can even refine your search results even further by selecting a date range, buyers using PC versus app discovery, and also by country and region. We have a number of on-platform marketing tools that sellers can use to attract buyer attention. You may hear our team throw around the term KWA, and this refers to keyword advertising, which is our pay-per-click marketing tool. Smart marketing is an intelligent marketing tool for KWA that helps customers market product using AI algorithms and is specifically valuable to those who do not really know how to operate pay-per-click campaigns or are too busy to spend time on bidding. Our custom campaign tool is a great tool if you have products from different categories and have some experience running pay-per-click campaigns on other platforms. Armed with info on the average bid for a particular product category, as well as what the top seller in that category is currently bidding on that term. First, you set the daily or weekly budget. Then you can select keywords, either ones that you choose or those that the system will recommend. And then you can select for higher conversion regions where buyers are sending the most inquiries for your particular product category. And further drill down with premium bidding to target specific buyer groups. Lastly, we have premium sponsored ads, a unique marketing tool that is offered on Alibaba.com, which I'll go into a little bit further. So premium sponsored ads are one of my favorite tools that Alibaba.com offers. This is a unique tool that allows you to purchase a keyword for the whole entire year for which you will rank at the top of the search results for. It is a great way to get ahead of competitors and get your products into the eyes of your top buyers and really effectively bypass the organic and paid traffic that's on the platform. The price of a keyword depends on the volume of the search traffic that the keyword gets. Pricing will vary from a couple of $100s a year to a few thousand, but in most cases, this will still be a fraction of what you have to spend in marketing on other channels. And as I had mentioned previously, if you want to be more proactive in terms of securing business opportunities, you can utilize our RFQ marketplace. Buyers from all over the world will publish their purchasing requests on our marketplace, totaling about 20,000 new posts per day. And depending on your storefront performance, your product listing scores, your engagement on the platform, will have access to higher and higher quality buyer RFQs sent from our buyer base. I wanted to quickly run through the current pricing. So right now we're running a promotion where you can pay either by you can make an annual payment or pay quarterly. These are a couple of the packages. We strongly recommend doing an annual package here at Alibaba.com, simply because of a lot of the reasons that Vincenzo was talking about, where the B2B sales cycle can be a bit longer. It could take a few months to to train that algorithm so that you get that organic traffic flowing into the storefront. But we do offer the basic as well, the quarterly as well. The standard also comes with free product posting services, so you wouldn't have to really navigate that on your own. You would have your storefront is set up by a third party. You're up and running in a couple of weeks, and you don't have to deal with all the details of listing your products on the platform. I encourage you to scan the QR code to connect with Vincenzo, who can discuss these packages further with you to find out which one is the best for you. Right now, I saw on our platform, we are offering a 30% seasonal sale. This will end at the end of the month. But you will always have the annual savings of 15% if you choose to do the annual package. And just want to run through quickly in terms of how to really, after you do the payment, how to get up and running. So before getting your products posted, you'll be asked to do business verification. This we do for all the sellers on our platform to ensure that they're legitimate businesses that are selling legitimate products. You'll need a valid state business registration certificate, a proof of address document. So this could be electricity bill, a phone bill, a proof of phone number document. So again, a phone bill will work for that. A redacted bank statement. So really just the info at the top that again proves that it's a legitimate business. And then the ID of a business's legal representative. And Ecomcy can help you with this, and so you don't have to really navigate this on your own, but just kind of wanted to highlight some of these things that you might encounter when you first sign up on the platform. After you get through business verification, you'll basically get a product upload template to start sending over your product info so that our teams can start uploading those products for you. So yeah, want to open it back up to Q&A session. Let's see.
Hello. Hello.
Thank you both for coming back on. I haven't been looking at, oops.
So, okay, so let's start with some of the questions here. And thank you, Vincenzo, for also joining us. So, let's first, I feel like there's like a pretty basic question. We can like kind of go over it with Ali's question. Like, please kindly elaborate on how the sign-in cost and payment for, I'm assuming for Alibaba.com. Would you like to explain it, Matt?
Yeah, so I can go and kind of go back to that previous slide. So you'll get essentially a payment link to sign up for one of these packages, make the payment. There are a variety of different ways you can do it. We support different card options, credit options, wire transfer. We really have all the options there for you. Let me see what the second part of.
I think it's like, how do you sign up?
And yeah, you can sign up via essentially a payment link, or you can be directed to our pricing page on Alibaba.com US. And yeah, I think that pretty much sums that up.
Okay, and then there's a question specifically for Vincenzo. So it says, as you're a podcaster, what merch do you believe would be great for other content creation specialists to sell via Alibaba.com and Ecomcy? How would they get started with branding and selling? And are there pricing tiers of the Ecomcy, and what are they?
Sure. So thank you so much for that question. So yeah, I think an approach that we need to take here, and the reason why I think is super important, what I'm going to mention next is I think the key when it comes to B2B is having an omni-channel approach, right? So of course, before you open the B2B side of things, you first need to have a valid, basically, product that has demand, right? You really need to make sure first that there's a demand on the B2C side of things. So then you can, okay, there's a B2C side of things, then most likely by doing the market research, then you open your B2B side of things, because then you can open up in scale. So I think the first thing I would say is you need to validate there is a need on both markets, right? On the B2B and B2C, they go hand by hand. Once you validate that and you identify, okay, on the B2B side of things, let's say in the case that you mentioned, the content creation side. So as an example, I'm just gonna make here a quick example so you see my point. Let's say you're a content creator and for one reason or another, you come up with a new unique type of microphone for podcast, right? Like you manage to patent a new or come up with a new design, a new way of basically technology on the microphone side of things. Of course, if you identify that there is a demand on the direct to consumer, most likely as this type of device starts to become known, all retailers and businesses also want to buy it from you in bulk, especially if you are the only one selling this type of product, in this case, this unique microphone in bulk, right? So this is a very quick example of the book, like how you can use B2B to expand your horizon, right? Because I'm sure once you find the success on small scale on the B2C, there's always most likely going to be also the B2B approach. And by using the right methodologies I just explained, and validating the market needs, B2B can allow you to skyrocket the revenue more efficiently, right?
Okay.
And just to also, I saw the pricing. So when it comes to pricing, yeah, I think the best thing would be to just use the QR code here, and we can explore how we can, if you already have a product that you want to open to the B2B division side of things, how we can basically onboard you on Alibaba.com and make sure we get you that B2B exposure as well. Okay.
All right. Yes, please scan the QR code and you can talk to Vincenzo.
And I see a question from Evan here on health products. So I kind of touched on it earlier when I was talking about some of the categories that require regulatory processes to get through. I mean, if you're listing from the US, you'll be required to post that certification or regulation before you're able to actually get the product onto the storefront. Obviously, if there are certain regions that doesn't cover, you would have to align with the distributor before exporting those products and shipping those products to those other regions. Our platform is really there to generate that business for you, and we do as much as we can on the the regulation side to make sure that everything is above board and that we're following all global regulations. But obviously there are specifics in other categories, and I invite you to schedule a call to kind of run through this in a bit more detail. But like I said, I mean, especially like I gave the example of food and beverage before, like to list products from here in the US that are available globally, you do need that FDA approval to list those products. So again, there are specifics to specific categories, but our platform is really there to generate that lead so that you know if you do have the buyers in those regions worth kind of getting all that certifications together.
Yeah, we've definitely had like sellers talk about how they signed on, figured out through the back end data that their product is actually really popular in a market they never expected, and then they had to proceed to figure out what they needed to do to get their stuff over the line over there. So that's happening.
Exactly. And I see a question here from Will asking about the success rate of selling a nice product in the food industry. I actually was just talking to a local US seller who's in the F&B, and they have a peanut butter product that I think it's an organic peanut butter product, and they have found a lot of success already since onboarding onto the platform. They actually utilized I think one of the ways that they were able to get ahead of the competition was one of those tools that I was talking about, premium sponsored ads, really bidding on a keyword and becoming a top search result, coupled with the label that you are a US supplier, I think adds a lot of value to that proposition. So a lot of US sellers in particular are trusted in the food and beverage industry because a lot of the regulations that US sellers have to go through in order to get to market just here in the US. So yes, there is a lot of success. I think there are ways that your partner, whoever you're working with on the storefront, can help educate you on the best tools and ways to become successful. But there are definitely a lot of specific case studies that we have for food and beverage.
Yes. Okay, so are there any other questions? If not, like we can end here, but last call for questions for either Vincenzo or Matt. If not, then thank you so much for joining us. Again, please scan the QR code to like talk to Vincenzo. I think I also put Vincenzo's book a meeting link actually in the chat and stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome. Additionally, there's like one if you want to get all your webinars in, there's one more webinar tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, and that's going to be the last one this year. And it's all about like how to get a head start and sell B2B online. So if you want to learn some basic strategies that you can start setting up for a new year, you can register using the registration link that I just put in the chat. If not, thank you so much for joining us. We always appreciate whenever people come to our webinars. And thank you so much to Vincenzo for appearing as a special guest.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. I appreciate the opportunity. Yes, feel free, as Jessica just mentioned, to reach out. I can actually already see some calls being booked, which is great.
Amazing.
So looking forward to have those calls and explore how Alibaba.com can allow you to get started into the B2B journey. So very excited. Yeah.
Amazing. Please scan.
Thank you everyone for participating. Appreciate it.